Hi everyone, I wanted to give you a new tutorial today that you can work with. Some of you may know this and some of you may not. I'm just going to do this based off of the, let's see, this is the Senior Portrait Watercolor Big Accordion Design Template. And it's just, this is what my sample looks like, so I'm going to do a couple things different to it to show you. As before, I think I told you, you can recolor layers. Yes, I think I showed you that last week. I'm just going to turn off the watercolor, or not turn off. Yeah, I'm going to turn them off right now. Just to show you this particular tutorial as far as adding a drop shadow. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the drop shadow that we have here. And this would be, for the sake of it, let's turn off the colors. This would be what you could do to anything. If you have a different preference for how you like your drop shadows, you can do them a little bit differently. The first thing I typically do is double click on the layer that I want to create a drop shadow for, and it opens up the layer style palette. Now if you click on the drop shadow, you could do the default that you see here. Typically I like to have my distance and size to be about half from each other, so if I have a distance of 5, I like my size to be about 10. Or if I want something even more dramatic, like say 20, I would go to about 40. Hold on, I can get to it. And you can actually type in numbers too, just to get it a little bit more of a realistic look to it. Now, I'm going to just bring those back down. Let's just default them to 8 and 16. And again, you can change the colors to whatever you want to match everything. I'm going to leave this just as it is, okay? And I'm going to hit OK. Now what this does is it creates a drop shadow as well in the inside of your photo. And if you think about it, most of the time, like on a Polaroid picture or something, there is no separation between those two, so you're not really having a reason for a drop shadow there, like say you would with a shadow box frame. So here's how we're going to take care of that. Under the frame layer, you'll see drop shadow, effects drop shadow. If you right click there, a pop-up menu comes up, click create layer, and it'll say some aspects cannot be reproduced, but don't worry, just click OK. And what that does is now create a whole new layer with just that drop shadow on it. And now, if you turn it off, you can see that. If you turn off the frame, you see where the drop shadow is. So it's kind of a cool thing that now you can work with. And what I like to do is just take my marquee tool, come in, and delete the shadow from inside the layer there. So then it just kind of gives a little bit more realistic feel. Now I could create a less affected drop shadow there, something a little bit smaller, because let's look at it like a thick frame on a wall is going to create a larger drop shadow, whereas in the picture inside, where that frame kind of comes above it, it may be something a little bit less. So there are ways for you to play with that. Now you can leave it just like this, or you could do a few different things. You could reduce the opacity of your frame now. You can make it look like something's peeling off of the paper or like warping up. So by clicking on that frame's drop shadow layer, we can now come under Edit, Transform, and Warp. And now we can bring down some of the points here, bring up some here, and just really make it look like it's coming off of the paper that it's on. And if it's a little too heavy, again, just reducing the opacity slightly. And now you have a frame that looks like a piece of paper or a warped Polaroid. So I just wanted to give you that fun little tutorial there that you can play with and do some different things with. Many times you can adjust the drop shadows in what we create in our products. We don't like to define those for you so that you are stuck with those. All right, have a great week, everybody.